It's time for the most integral part of any D&D campaign, the plot. Hey everyone, I'm Zaklis, a D&D Dungeon Master and World Builder. Up to this point, we've covered two major phases. First was the foundation, then came the skeleton. Together, they defined the world's identity and the campaign's structural pillars. However, none of that progresses on its own. This video is about what actually makes a campaign move. We're talking about the main plot, how it breaks into arcs, what triggers change, and how it progresses over time. It doesn't matter how you run your campaign. Sandbox, PC-driven, railroad, a hybrid of all three. The system stays the same. Every campaign needs a main plot. Not a series of quests, not just arcs, a plot. The plot is the thorough line. It's what is happening in the world and will keep happening if no one intervenes. It must fit your genre and your setting, and it must grow out of your conflict and its scale. The plot is always on the move. Player choices decide how it moves or what it moves toward, but doing nothing does not stop that movement. It simply hands over the control to the world itself. To create the plot, you need three things: a source of pressure, a direction it escalates toward, and a point where the world is no longer the same. You're not writing events or endings, you're defining a problem that intensifies, spreads, and mutates over time. If you know what applies pressure, how it gets worse, and what too late looks like, you already have a functioning plot. A plot is too big to play all at once. That's why arcs exist. Arcs are how the campaign engages the plot in stages. Think of them as chapters. Each arc has its own stake, often its own scale, and sometimes its own antagonist or pressure point. Arcs resolve. Plot does not. At least, not yet. An arc can succeed, fail, or derail completely, but when it ends, the campaign state should change. New information, escalation, or a shift in power. If an arc ends and nothing is different, then it was just a filler. There is no fixed number of arcs. Player count, tone, pacing, campaign length, all of these influence how many arcs will be. What matters here is that each arc contributes to the main plot by advancing it, complicating it, or revealing a new angle. This one might sound unfamiliar, but you're already doing it subconsciously. A campaign does not move because a session ends, it moves because something triggers change. Triggers are conditions, not events. They define when the campaign shifts from one state to another. There are three you need to think about: time, choice, failure. Time triggers mean things happen if the party does nothing. Rituals complete, factions move, resources run out. Inaction still have consequences. Choice triggers are when player decisions redirect the story. Alliances, betrayals, destruction, revelation. The world reacts to the player characters. Failure triggers are the most important. Failure does not stop the plot, it warps it. Stakes rise, options narrow, costs increase. If failure only means retrying, then the campaign has no teeth. If the failure stops the campaign outright, then the plot never existed in the first place. Triggers replace rigid scheduling. You stop writing, "This happens in session 5, and you will start writing, "This happens if this condition is met." The timeline is about pace, not scheduling. You need a rough sense of how fast things escalate. Some campaigns unfold over days, some takes months, and some span over years. None are better than the other, they just feel different and have different uses. Map the timeline loosely and place your arcs roughly on it. Understand how pressure builds over time and expect all hell to break loose. When things don't go according to the timeline, stop freaking out, adjust, and move on. The timeline is there to help you react intelligently, not to lock in the future. The plot is the spine. Arcs are how the party engages it. Triggers are what cause change. Timeline is the pace that holds it together. This is how a campaign stops feeling episodic and starts feeling alive. If this challenged how you usually plan campaigns, good. If it clarified something for you, even better. Let me know how you usually handle plot progression in your game.